this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today with a little bit of real talk. And the real topic that I wanted to discuss today is Black women. And why is it that everything that is wrong with the Black family is our fault? Now, let me just tell you before I start off what inspired this video. I have been watching a lot of fellow YouTubers do videos concerning the Black family, the Black woman, and what I've been noticing is like a common theme where there is a lot of bashing of Black women. And like I said, blaming us for everything. Now, when I watch these videos, I didn't know whether to be disgusted, sad, angry, or what. But as a Black woman myself, when I watch things like this, I try to be fair. I try to look at both sides and try to find, something in both sides where I can say, well, they made a valid point with this or they made a valid point with that. But in these videos that I've been seeing recently, I'm not able to do that because some of these videos have gone too far. And the reason why I say that is, as Black women, we're not perfect. Of course, everyone knows that because they constantly tell us. And when you look at our status here in America, as far as the food chain goes, Black women are at the bottom of the food chain. Let America tell us. So it's not like we have anyone rooting for us. The videos that I've been seeing have been done by brothers, and that's the part that bothers me. It's bad enough that we have the rest of the world telling us how terrible we are. But when you have the men of your own race, blaming you for everything that's wrong with the Black family, that's another thing. And that's where, as a Black woman myself, having been on both sides of the fence, meaning I've been, married for 17 years, and I've also been a single mother for a number of years. You have to speak up and speak out. We as Black women, like I said, we're not perfect. We accept 50% of the blame. Let's go with that. But that other 50% of the blame, where do we lay it? Are we supposed to take 100% of the blame? Or can brothers admit that they play some role in it? When we are creating babies, we're not laying in that bed by ourselves. When we lay down with someone. But it seems like when we get up alone. And that's a problem. Now, the thing is out there is that Black women are difficult, Black women are this, Black women are that. And that's why our men leave us. They say that we don't choose mates wisely. They also say that we have babies without being married, that we are pretty much baby breeders, that we open our legs to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, that we don't really, I guess, want to be married. But my question is this. When Tom, Dick, and Harry was thinking about laying down with us, did they ever think about asking us to marry them? Asking us before babies came into the picture, would you be my wife? Now, a lot of people will say, well, then if they didn't ask you to be their wife, then you shouldn't have slept with them. That may be true. But on the same token, if a brother wasn't planning to make her a wife, then why did he sleep with her? This blame game, this finger pointing can go both ways. What I'm trying to say is there's enough blame to go around. But what I seem to find in some of these videos is all of that blame is being directed at the Black woman. And when you have the brother doing the blaming, it's almost laughable because we're in it together, or that's at least what some of these women believe. Now, don't get me wrong. On both sides, there are women who are not about anything, and there are men that are not about anything. We can all attest to that. But this blaming the Black woman for everything that's wrong with the Black family, it's got to stop, because it took two of us. Two people were making a decision to do stupid things, not just the Black woman. Then once all the dust is settled, the two people are not apart, and maybe there's a baby now in the picture, which leaves that woman as a single mother. Why is it that at that point we're slammed for being single mothers when it was the man that left us? Now, the reasons may be that the two people just couldn't get along, simple as that. But in a lot of cases, when these men leave, and that's some of them, they don't look back. They not only leave the woman, but they leave the child too. And say that is a boy child. A lot of men will then say, well, a woman can't raise a son. But if the man never looks back, aren't we left to raise that son? Isn't that exactly what we're doing? No, God didn't intend a woman to raise a son by herself. But a lot of instances, that's what these Black women are doing. And they're doing the best that they can with what they know. Children don't come with directions. So we learn as we go. We hope that the man will step back in and be there for this boy to teach him things in life. But if he isn't, who else is there? You can try to find mentors and men in the community and men in your family that you respect and that you want to help guide your son. But for the most part, you're the one. You're the one that's providing for them. You're the one that's making sure that there's a roof over their head, food in that house, clothes on their back, that they have medical care, that they have activities, and that they're a well-rounded child. But you have brothers out there who even bash us for doing that. So it seems that no matter what we do, we're wrong. They say that we're hard to get along with. So, okay, leave us. But why do you leave your child too? And once again, I'm going to say that's not all brothers. I've actually dated men who are single fathers. And just like women, they're doing the best that they can. Now, those single fathers that I've dated, they've had daughters. And who was I to tell them, oh, a man can't raise a daughter? Because the daughters that I met, they seemed happy, well adjusted. They were doing well in school. Now maybe that man had sisters, aunts, cousins that were women that helped him learn how to do her hair or just helped him guide her. But just like a single mother, he's only doing the best that he could. When you have these breakups like this, when a father goes off or a man goes off and leaves a woman with children, those children watch that whole scenario. You know, they see, their mother trying to take care of them. And if the father is not around, they also see that. So then you have another generation that's growing up not seeing a man being in their life, so they don't understand when they grow up the value of a father. So you have a boy that says, well, hey, my mom raised me by herself. Now I have a woman. If things don't work out, she'll just raise my kids by herself like my mom did. You have a little girl who saw her mother raising kids by herself, and she might think, hey, my mother did a good job. I don't need this man. Isn't that what brothers say that we say? We don't need a man. But see, when you're a little girl and you were raised by a single mother and you see her being strong despite whatever she was going through, getting up every morning, going to work, making sure that that household was ran and being able to raise those kids, then when you grow up as a young woman, you say, well, if things don't work out, I'll just be strong just like my mother. You see the cycle here? What men blame on us is actually a cycle that they create by leaving. It's not all us. If you were the man that you say you were and that you're strong, why don't you stand by and try to make it work? Or at least if you can't make it work, be a father to these children that you're leaving behind. This shit ain't easy, you know? But a lot of black women just grab their strength, they dig down deep, and they just go on because that's the strength that's in us. All this strength that people think we have, it's because a lot of times we have been left to try to figure things out. And if we crumble, if we break apart, then that means that the family crumbles. The family breaks apart. Those children that are left behind by that man don't flourish because the mother's no good. That's a cycle, y'all. In every example I gave you examples of when the father leaves, when the man leaves. But let's not forget, there are situations where a woman will be with a guy and things are not going well, and for one reason or another, she decides to leave. But it doesn't matter which one leaves. What matters is the family, those children. Some kind of way, these men have to be cordial with the mother to where they're having a relationship with the kids. For those brothers out there who find it necessary to blame the woman for everything, like I asked you earlier in the video, have you ever thought about what that woman goes through? Whether it's you left her or she left you when she's dealing with those kids. Luckily, in my situation, like I said, I was with my ex for 17 years. So one of my children was raised almost to adulthood with a dad, and that was my son. My daughter, on the other hand, missed out. She's 8 years younger than my son, so she spent half of her life without a dad in a home. And like every other mother, I did the best I could. And her father, like some men, wasn't a part of her life as much as she would have liked, as much as I would have liked. And you see the repercussions of that, when they become adults. It's little things that as a mother you notice. When I think of these men bashing women for only doing what we think is best as mothers. I don't understand it. Now, like I said earlier in the video, there are women out there who aren't about shit. You know, brothers talk about child support and how some women get it and they go get their hair and nails done and they're not thinking about the kids. They're right. There are those women. Because I don't want to make it seem like women are perfect so that there will be brothers down in my comments bringing up those things. We know that there are women who aren't about shit. But the vast majority of women are trying. You know, they're trying. They're doing the best that they know how. So for that reason, and for those women, I don't understand when I hear a brother start off a video by saying most women are this, most women are that. Because we can turn around and say the same thing. If we go by the experiences that we had, we can say most men aren't shit. Most men leave their kids and never look back. These black men aren't about a goddamn thing. We could be doing that too. We could be sitting on here doing videos about that too. But I will never be one of those women that say all black men are a certain way, because I know that's not true. I mentioned a few minutes ago, I dated two guys, two separate guys that were single fathers. And when I say that those kids came before anything, that is exactly what it was. Me and no one else was going to prevent that single father from doing what he needed to do with his kids. And I admired that in them. I even wondered, how did they end up with their children? You know, you have to wonder what type of woman would leave her children. Or did she lose custody because she was unfit? One guy even had a child as young as 8 months old. And I asked him one day, did she just get up and leave? Because he was doing hair, making meals, packing lunches. He was like a woman. The other guy I dated had custody of his son. I even dated a guy that had custody of his daughter since she was 8 months old. The mother was doing the weekend visits. The mother was ordered to pay child support. So it just goes both ways, y'all. And I just want brothers to take a moment and think about what we feel when you're bashing us like you do, when you don't try to understand that you play a role in what's going on with black families. You know, you play a role. That if the black family is not right, if a woman accepts 50% of the blame, what portion of that blame do you accept? If a woman can't raise a son by herself, then where is that son's father? Why isn't he looking back and saying, she can't raise that boy by herself, I have to be in his life? So brothers out there that are doing videos about how bad black women are and how we're not this and we're not that and we're the cause of the family being messed up, if you have a buddy that you know is not doing right by his kids and you know he has some kids somewhere, you need to get in his ear, get in his ass, and tell him that he's making a bad name for all of you. Because I know that if I have a friend and I see she not doing right by her kids, I will say something. You know, I had a friend one time that I went over her house and she had 2 kids. Her refrigerator was empty and her cabinets were empty. And every time it was time for those kids to eat, you know, she would have to run to the corner store. Let me run over here and get these kids some McDonald's. One day I said, girl, why don't you just go grocery shopping? Get some food in the house. Get your cabinets packed up. You know, get your freezer full. Instead of worrying about, you know, going out getting your hair and nails. I literally told her that. We were no longer friends after I told her, but I sure told her. Because I can understand that it's time to get up to eat in the morning and you don't even have a box of cereal, a gallon of milk in the refrigerator. That every meal that those kids had, you got to run out and try to get something. And because you don't feel like cooking, you're throwing them some McDonald's, getting a bucket of chicken and some side dishes. To me, that's not a good mother. So what we need to do, y'all, is we need to stop and look at our families as a whole. And both of us, both men and women, accept responsibility for what we did and did not do right. All of us, when it comes to the family declining or falling apart, we all bear some responsibility. It's not only the women. And with that, y'all, this is the end of my video. I'd welcome your comments. I know there should be quite a few. And I look forward to reading them. Catch you guys in the next video. And as always, thank you for watching this one. Take care now. Bye-bye.